Welcome to Tauros All Access. I'm Lauren Hill, joined by Evan Epstein, and we are bringing you the Thursday episode, also known as the weekend preview. So our Tauros are back in Minot this weekend, playing the Austin Bruins in round 1, game 3 tomorrow, and we are very excited.
It's going to be a very fun night here at the Pepsi Rink tomorrow. Tauros bring a 2-0 series lead back home for games 3, and hopefully it's just 3, but 4 if the Austin Bruins pick up tomorrow night's game. And I think when you look at that first series, the thing that steps out or that stands out to me is the impact that the players the Tauros have acquired midseason have had, the midseason acquisitions for the Tauros. Right, we've talked about Gavin Middendorf all season long. On Friday, he set up John's small goal, took a puck away from a puck battle in the corner, feeds Small out in front, and really makes that play happen. Braden Jockham's the first goal on Saturday, the takeaway in the neutral ice, finishing off the breakaway goal. And then Landon Fleming, who's been playing terrifically alongside Adam Mahler. Fleming is +4 when he's on the ice in the playoffs. That leads the team. And, you know, we haven't even brought up all of the midseason acquisitions, right? You got another guy like Noah Gibbs who's not even shown.
Yeah, like you just said, those are not the only midseason acquisitions that the Tauros have made. Like you just said, Noah Gibbs has been competitive on the ice since getting here. No points last weekend on the ice in Austin, but his line has been producing, and you never know what to expect in the playoffs. And that is something you talked about with assistant coach Tyler Ebner earlier today. So we'll let y'all see that.
I'm here with assistant coach Tyler Ebner. Coach, 2 defensive games this weekend. How did the Tauros hold the Bruins to 1 goal both nights?
I think we did a really good job of limiting their amount of time and space. I think we also did a very good job of being really disciplined in our own zone, closing, making sure that they're staying on the same side of the ice, and again, limiting the amount of time that they have in the middle of the ice to get good chances. And we kind of kept them to the outside and limited the amount of shots that they got from scoring areas.
Officiating seemed to play a factor this weekend, just 4 calls on Friday and then 14 between both sides on Saturday. As a coach, how do you deal with it when maybe Saturday's game is officiated a little bit differently than Friday's?
Well, I think, you know, from our perspective, we want to keep the amount of penalties, you know, from us and really for them lower, right, so that we can get all 4 lines rolling. I think we're at our best when we do that. You know, that's not going to be the case every night, but again, reminding our guys to stay disciplined and stay out of kind of the scrums that happen during playoff hockey.
Is there a player this past weekend that you think stood out, maybe a non-goal scorer, to keep an eye on this weekend?
Well, I think Braden Jockham's played really well. Obviously, he scored the 1 goal. But that whole line as a whole with him, Chuck Owens and Noah Gibbs played really, really well, both defensively and creating offense, in the O-zone.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Always good to hear from assistant coach Tyler Ebner. Definitely something to watch out for with that Noah Gibbs, Braden Jockham's, and Chuck Owens line this weekend. But to get back into the meat of this playoff series, the Austin Bruins and the Tauros power play, both teams were 0 for 8 this past weekend. They were 0 for 2 on Friday and 0 for 6 on Saturday.
And that was the result of 2 very differently officiated games, which that was something we talked with Coach Tyler Ebner about, right? Just 4 penalties were called on Friday, 14 on Saturday. But I think this might be one of the few areas where the Bruins penalty kill looked excellent this past weekend. They were winning a lot of faceoffs and quickly clearing the puck down the ice. This is a Bruins penalty kill that is now 28 for their last 28. The last time they gave up a power play goal was March 29th. That was a regular season game here at the Pepsi Rink against the Tauros, so they haven't given up a power play goal over their last 6 games.
Yeah, and something we have been talking about throughout the entire week in the office, the Austin Bruins are not defeated yet, but they come here to Minot down 2 games in a best-of-5 game series. How are they going to act when they get here to Minot? Is it going to be clean hockey? Is it going to be not so clean hockey? And I think the result of that answer is we're going to see some not so clean hockey.
I think the answer is that, the Austin Bruins are going to come out fighting for their lives because, frankly, they're down to their very final game. It's win or go home for the Bruins, really, for the next 3 games if they're able to string together wins. But one of the other questions we have is about that top line for the Bruins. Alex Lorenza and Luke Mulcahy were the 2 top point scorers in the NAHL this season. They play alongside E.J. Paddington. None of those 3 players had a point over the first 2 games of this series. That was one of the few lines that we said might stack up with one of the Toros' top 2 lines, the Yahalo, Hannes and Badiner, Middendorf, Small, and Spencer. But we didn't see that play out over the first 2 games. If the Bruins are going to get back in this one, those 3 players are going to have to play a lot better, and they're going to have to make an impact this weekend.
Yeah, and definitely something also to mention, these shots on goal, just in general of the last weekend, there were a total of Bruins had 37 shots on goal. We had 35 on Friday. Saturday, we had 34 shots on goal, and the Bruins had 48, so we were outshot both games.
But I don't think those stats necessarily tell the entire story, right? Just a 2-shot differential on Friday. And you look at Saturday's game, the Austin Bruins came out firing in the first period. They outshot the Toros 20-7 over the first 20 minutes. That's a plus 13 shot differential in favor of the Bruins, right? On the game, 48-34, that's a plus 14 shot differential. So the final 40 minutes plus those 44 seconds of overtime, Bruins outshot the Toros by 1, which is a marginal difference at most. Toros played extremely well those final 40 minutes and 44 seconds in which Jesse Ahala put away the overtime winner, and that's what they're looking to replicate this weekend here at the Pepsi Rink.
Yeah, and we also do not know which goalie Austin is going to go with, but both did pretty well last weekend with a 32 out of 34 record there. They do call Carl Axelson the Saturday night Carl. Will we be seeing Carl? Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll not even have to play Saturday night's game. But again, we do not know who we will see tomorrow night.
I think, frankly, this just comes down to who do the Austin Bruins trust more. Down to their final game, is it Axelson, is it Solomon? Like you said, both of them 32 saves on 34 shots. They both give up 2 goals, but Jack Solomon has been their rock all year long. Carl Axelson has only been with them for about half the season, and furthermore, I think Solomon looked better on Friday than Axelson did Saturday. Axelson was giving up quite a few rebounds, and Solomon made a few terrific saves, one of which he actually gave up the puck to Ian Spencer, and Spencer thought he had an open net, but Solomon managed to recover. And honestly, I think we see one goalie for the Austin Bruins the rest of the way. If they win Friday, they're probably going to roll with the same guy on Saturday, continuing into next week. But we'll see who they go with. I'm definitely not Steve Howard, so we will see when we get the starters tomorrow night.
And that'll do it for today's episode of Tauros All Access. We've talked about it literally all week, all of last week. We want you here, so please be here. Please scan this QR code. Get your tickets for tomorrow. Please be in this building. Wear a jersey, wear a sweatshirt, wear anything with the Tauros logo on it. Bring your bells, whistles, horns, anything to distract the Austin Bruins from winning this game on Friday. But other than that, that'll do it for today's episode of Tauros All Access, and we will see you next week.